Something is wrong. He was grinning wickedly. Then he laughed and said, "No way to let an old hag in my house anymore. I want a divorce." I was surprised at such a sudden declaration of divorce, but there was only one answer. "Yeah, okay." "What?" Eric's voice came out of his head. "Are you serious?" "My name is Naomi. I'm 47-year-old office lady. My husband Eric and I have been married for 23 years. He is 50 years old, 3 years older than me, a senior manager of a normal company. When we were just got married, he loved me so much and we had a happy married life. But now our relationship has completely cooled off. We have one daughter who graduated from college. When she got a job, she left home and started living alone. After we were left alone as a couple, we hardly even talk to each other. And when we do talk, it's usually some sort of an argument. Eric has never helped me with the housework. I just get more and more frustrated every day. One day, I came home after working late. But when I come into, he's laying on the sofa and doing nothing but just watching TV. I'm sure he knew I was home. But he said nothing, not even looked at me. I was wondering if he's home earlier than I am. At least prepare the dinner, or at least clean yourself up. But Eric never does anything like that. On the contrary, he's the kind of person who leaves his clothes on the floor. "Hey, put your own clothes in the laundry basket, okay?" "Okay, we'll do that later." "When is your later?" "After the dinner." "I'm starving. Where is our dinner?" "Even you say so. Didn't you see me getting home just now? If you are going to complain like that, just wait until it's done or help me." "No, I'm tired from work. Besides, housework is a woman's job. Stop complaining and do your job." "I don't like the way you talk to me. Doesn't sound like from a respectful senior manager." "Well, no matter what you say, I am the boss, and everyone loves me." "I don't believe it. I don't think any of your subordinates would follow you." "That's it. What a mean wife. Isn't your fault for working overtime in the first place?" "Now is a busy season. Everyone else is working overtime. It doesn't matter if we're good or not." "Then everyone at the company you work for is dumped at their job." "Huh? Stop making fun of my coworkers and subordinates." "Then why don't you quit your job?" "What would I do that? I work because I like my job. And it was you said that I could keep working after we got married." "That was a long time ago. I don't know how miserable is this company, which has to hire an old hack like you." "An old hack? Don't you dare talk to me like that." "I'm just telling you the truth. Shut your mouth up and just get on your job. Our dinner, now." "Whatever. I'm going out for my dinner." "Hey, seriously?" I decided to end this nonsense argument and went out. And that's how it looks like when I was with Eric, fighting all the time. When we had our daughter at home, we used to have conversations as a family, but now that she's gone, all the conversations we have are arguments. I thought Eric and I were married in love. How did our relationship turn so cold? Moreover, the reason we got together was because Eric made an aggressive approach to me. During our relationship, he was extremely kind to me and did a lot for me. We got married because he proposed to me. I thought it was a woman's happiness to be loved and married. That fact that Eric has turned into such a cold person towards me makes me feel so frustrated. I felt he's changed in the last few years. I could have a feeling that he's cheating on me. But he is very careful about it. I can't find a shred of evidence to prove it. I did think about hiring an agency, but there is a part of me that still believes in Eric. I know it may sound crazy that our relationship went at this cold, but we've been together for 23 years. I wanted to believe in him. I had a lot of difficult days like that, and every time when I was with him, I feel nothing but disappointed. After a few months of working hard and housework, Eric told me that he had something to talk to me. What on earth does he want? What do you want? Something is wrong. He was grinning wickedly, and then he laughed and said, I can't have an old hug anymore. I want a divorce. I was surprised at such a sudden declaration of divorce, but there was only one answer. Yeah, okay. What? Eric's voice came out of his head. Are you serious? We're talking about divorce. Yet I know what we are talking about. It means to end our marriage. Do you? You know how much trouble you'd get into if we got divorced. I mean, don't you care about what people think? I know it will be a rough time, but I'm working now, and I don't care about what people think. There are divorced people all over the world. Yeah, well, I mean, you are the one who proposed the divorce, and now what's your concern? Don't tell me you expected me to say that I don't want a divorce. No, just didn't think you'd say yes so easily. It was you saying that you wanted a divorce. Doesn't this make you feel satisfied if I say yes to you? Yes, that's true, but, what? It's a threat or what? You're just saying without actually wanting a divorce? No, of course. Then let's get a divorce. Well, the divorce papers. I don't have them right now. I thought you prepared everything. What a dumb. Shut up, I'll be right back. I'll get them right now. Eric took the divorce papers right away under my provocation. Are you really sure about that? Oh my goodness, just filled up the goddamn divorce papers. Okay. Just let you know, I'm not having an affair. Why are you saying this all of a sudden? I told you I'm not having an affair. It's more suspicious that you said that. Let's make a firm decision of property. Eric seemed quite surprised that I accepted the divorce so readily. But I guess that's not surprising, considering the way he's been behaving and the terrible outbursts he's been making. I mean, who wouldn't want a divorce? I just have a good job, and we don't have any problems making ends meet. After the divorce was finalized, I immediately called our daughter to tell her that we were divorcing. As you can imagine, my daughter was surprised. She had seen and heard her dad's words and attitude toward me. She was convinced that I had agreed to the divorce right away. By the way, has he called or texted you? I haven't gotten one yet, but I'm sure I get one today. Eric has spoiled our daughter to show his love, but our daughter doesn't like him that much. When she was a child, he was busy with work and never showed up in any parent-child activities. They made her feel very lonely. And because she witnessed the swears and attitude he had towards me, as she grows older, she is disgusted with her father more and more. That's really a jerk. The most horrible father. Oh wait, I just got a message from him. What did he say? He said you're sleeping up, and he said he's lonely and wants me to come over. I don't want to meet him at all, but I'm glad that I can see you without any worries, Mom. Let's go out for dinner sometime. Yeah, sure. Yay! But why did Dad suddenly ask for a divorce? Isn't it strange? Well, he said he wasn't cheating on me, which I didn't even ask him about. Maybe he's having an affair. What? If he was, he'd be really a jerk. Well, I'm just speculating. If it's true, I'm not going to see him anymore. After that conversation, I hung up the phone with my daughter. About a month or later, I went to the cafe where I was meeting my daughter. Mom, it's been a while. 6 months since last time. You look great and your face is glowing. Maybe it's because I'm stress-free now. You live alone now, right? Yes, I live in an apartment near my office. It's a lot helpful for the traffic, and no need to do chores for 2 people anymore. I have a lot more time and spend with my friends and hobbies. I'm just happy now. That's great. You know, if this is what it's come to, I wish I'd gotten divorced earlier. You are right. Who doesn't hate serving a person with that disturbing look? I really do. Know what? He called me an old hag. He did? That's disgusting. After a brief conversation with my daughter, she started talking about something a little awkwardly. You know, about that thing the other day, you were saying that might be having an affair. I was curious, so I asked the agency to look into it. Oh, really? Did you get the results? Yes, here are the results. I nervously read the results my daughter handed me, and there were pictures of Eric with a young woman, holding arms happily in hotels and homes. He cheated on me, didn't he? How else could it be possible? I was shocked. I was right. He left me for another woman. Mom, there's no time to be sad. We've got the evidence. I think you should get your alimony. I know. By the way, the agent you hired, I have to pay the money. You can do that after you get the alimony from Dad. But I don't know how can I prove this adultery. There's chances he did it after we divorced. Actually, I already have the proof. What? What do you mean? She showed me another document. These are the conversations between Dad and his lover. How did you get it? I happened to use him. According to the story, my daughter went to Eric's house to see him. She served him a home-cooked meal and made him drink a lot of wine. He was so happy to see his daughter and got to enjoy the food, the wine prepared from her. So he drank a ton and was completely drunk. And our daughter used his hand to open the fingerprint authentication of his phone. She took a screenshot of the conversations he had with the lover in WhatsApp and sent it to her own account to get proof. Oh my dear, you're amazing. Because I just can't forget Dad for cheating on you and having an affair. That's enough for you to win. Yes, thank you. We're going to fight him and his lover. Then we will need to call Eric and tell him I want to talk about the alimony. He won't come if I'm here. So my daughter asked to meet him alone, and we're going to catch him at a cafe. When my daughter and Eric arrived, I showed up and sit down. Then Eric gave me a very disapproving look. Why is she here? I don't want to see you either, but I have something important to tell you. What? What do you want to talk about? You were having an affair, weren't you? What are you talking about? I told you at the time of the divorce that I wasn't having an affair. You seem to be able to hide it well then. Well, you can't blame the professionals on doing their job too well. I said that, and I spread out on the table the photos my daughter got from the agency. Eric was surprised. This is the woman I'm with after breaking up with you. So I wasn't cheating. Well, I knew you'd say that. Actually, there's something more. What? And I showed him what our daughter prepared for us. I showed him the printout of the conversations in WhatsApp. These are all dated when we were still married. That, along with the photos from earlier, is definitely evidence. How did you get this? The day we drank at home, I looked up your phone and copied everything. You did that? That's not appropriate. You can't just check someone's phone without permission. Don't you tell me what's not appropriate. You have a wife and a daughter. You are a family man, but you think it's appropriate to just destroy this family? And now you're here teaching me what's appropriate? Bullshit. I hate you. Hearing his dearest daughter hates him, Eric got pale. I have all this evidence and I'm demanding the alimony. What are you talking about? We've already broken up. I don't owe you any money. You are really an idiot, aren't you? Statute of limitations on cheating is 3 years. I mean, we've only been broken up for about a month. I have plenty of time to file for alimony. Oh no. Well, then, we're done here. Let's go through our lawyer for the rest of the application. Oh, Dad, there was one last thing I forgot to tell you. What is it? Eric looks at my daughter like he's expecting something. You have no right to call Mom an old hug. I mean, Dad, you're an old fogey to me, too. You need to stop acting like a great person but talking shit to the people around you. If you're also doing this to your colleagues, God, they must hate you a lot. I, as your daughter, hate you too. She bursted all of these comments to him. Eric was frozen in shock. He had tears in his eyes. I left the cafe with my daughter without saying goodbye to him. After that, we went straight to our other opponent, Eric's lover. We were supposed to meet at another cafe. When my daughter and I went there, the woman was already there. She was waiting for us, smoking a cigarette. What do you two want for me? To be short, I want you to pay my alimony because you're having an affair with my husband. What? Alimony? I started seeing him after he became single. That's not adultery. I showed her the same evidence I showed Eric. This proves that it was an affair. My lawyer said I could get alimony. But you're already divorced. You can't get alimony if you're already divorced. You are such an idiot. Like my ex-husband, I guess birds of a feather flock together. What are you trying to say? Just an old hug from nowhere. Ha! That's what my ex used to say to me. That is such a dumb asshole. What's the point of dating an old woman who thinks she could cover her age by the thick makeup? Who the hell do you think you are? To me, you're also an old woman, and you're just a part-time, right? I'd rather have a mom who's been working full-time and in an overqualified position. I'd say she's more independent, respectable woman. All right. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't making fun of you for being a part-time. I'm just trying to make a point that you're not even this close to be as good as my mother. What the hell is wrong with this bitch? Fuck off! I'm glad she said that to Eric's lover. Anyway, I told you about the alimony. Even if you get divorced, the statute of limitation on alimony for adultery is 3 years. You're kidding me. No, it's true. And I also sent a surprise to your house. What? Your husband will know about the affair. Okay, wait a minute. That's not what I heard. What if I got divorced? That's your business. You destroyed people's family. Don't think you can get all the benefits. The woman froze in her tracks, her face pale. My daughter and I left the restaurant feeling refreshed. After that, Eric and the woman paid me the alimony. Both of them were also charged by the fair partner's husband. They are forced to live in extreme poverty. By the way, I sent the evidence later to Eric's workplace as well. So Eric's infidelity spread throughout the company. I heard that Eric was taking his senior manager position. Also, I heard that my daughter is going to work with someone with Eric's company. She heard something about him that he was the most unpopular senior manager in the company. When he was taking the position, everyone was hooray. Well, not difficult to imagine. I couldn't help but laugh out when imagined that everyone was so satisfied with the result. The only good thing he had, his high income, was gone. No one would be interested in him anymore. At best, he'd spend the rest of his time lonely and isolated. I, on the other hand, am doing so well in both my work and private life. I will keep on visiting my daughter and friends regularly, having some hobbies and enjoying them. I like to spend my days to the fullest. Had no idea that this person who keeps on saying something moral harassment also is one of the world's husband who cheats on his wife. Fortunately, they have an excellent daughter. She's like a character in Mission Impossible. What a brilliant strategy she thinks of. The way she proved her husband's infidelity and won the alimony was also amazing. Let's hope Naomi will be free to do whatever she wants in the rest of her life. Thank you for watching till the end. Please subscribe to the channel if you like. See you again in the next video. Hey Grace, you've better know what you've done. What kind of nerve do you have to abandon your duty as a wife and cause trouble for William? You're a terrible wife. I'm gonna give you some lessons. Well, Mother, I have my reason for leaving. It doesn't matter. We're going to move into a new nice apartment. If you want to come living with us, I'll tell you where the new place is. I'm sure my mother-in-law still doesn't know anything. Well, it's a good chance for me that she knows nothing. No. Thank you. What? My name is Grace. I'm a 35-year-old office lady. My husband William and I have been married for 5 years. He's now 40, 5 years older than me. I used to go out with older guys, but I was attracted to him because he was generous and kind. And our relationship went well, so we got married. Our marriage was sort of satisfying. But a few months later, a shadow began to appear over our peaceful life. I got fired. William was suddenly laid off. The reason was the company's business condition had worsened due to the recession. I had never imagined that William would be let off because he worked for a big company. I thought that we would be able to live without worrying about money, and this will continue to our late life. But it seems that nothing is certain in this world. We became stressfully poor. I was a housewife, but I decided to start work right away. I contacted the company I had left before I got married. Luckily, they agreed to hire me. Apparently, there was an employee who had just left the company to have a baby. I was relieved to know that at least we had another income. If William could find a new job, we would be fine. But it's not easy for a middle-aged man to find a new job. William had no choice but to work part-time as a day laborer. His salary averaged about $700 a month. Someone like me getting back to work should expect that the salary won't be too high. We're barely making ends meet. Hey, the rent here is too high. Can't we move out? I think it's better to find a cheaper place and save money. To make our life easier, we need to lower our fixed costs. Up until now, William had high income and we worried nothing about money. We've been living in a nice apartment, but I think we should take a hard look at the reality and move into an apartment that costs less. But my idea was rejected firmly. No, we're not moving out there. Why not? If we move to a smaller, cheaper apartment, Mom will ask me why. So what? Why don't you just tell her the truth? We're having a hard time making ends meet because you don't have a job now. When I said that, he turned red and raised his voice. Don't ever tell my mother I'm unemployed. Your salary and my earnings are enough to pay the rent. Let's just leave it at that. I was surprised and confused at the same time. You care more about your pride and your house than you do about protecting your marital life? Even if we could afford the rent, we still have a hard time making ends meet. That's why I came up with this idea, because we couldn't save any money at all. But William insisted and didn't give in. I had no choice but to give up for once. After that, life continued to be difficult. Especially one day, William made an unbelievable comment to me. Hey, this is all we have for dinner today? You used to have a lot more dishes. Just because you started working doesn't mean you don't have to do your duty. Don't be lazy to manage this. William's words made me angry, so I retorted, I have no choice. We're struggling to make ends meet. I'm doing my best at home and at work. It's because someone's unnecessarily proud that wanting to live here makes me no choice but cut the food expenses. Or you could just make more money, then everything will be just what you want. When I make provocative remarks, William said, What the hell? Don't you dare say this to me. Just wait and see. I'll get another job at good company and make more money than you. William got angry. I thought I was enough to bear him like this, but if this sparkles William's motivation that I could endure, I convinced myself that it was fine. However, he was unable to find a new job in the first place, so he had to work part-time as a day laborer. Now that even he was motivated, he could not find a new job. I could understand if he had done a lot of studies and got a qualification, but he didn't do that. He just worked part-time. William was rejected by the interviewer for every interview, and he got tired of having to bow down to the interviewer who was younger than him. So he stopped looking for a job. He still believed that he could earn more money than me. But I was disappointed to him and already gave up. Besides, it's not just William that I'm worried about. Mention to this, I received another phone call earlier today. It was my mother-in-law, calling without hesitation in spite of the fact that I was at work. Just this morning, there were more than 10 calls left. When I returned the call during my lunch break, my mother-in-law's voice was high-pitched from the very first word. Why didn't you answer the phone right away? I told you the other day that I'm at work, didn't I? Come on! You call that working? My calls are the first priority. My mother-in-law lost her husband a year ago, and since then, she'd kept calling me a lot. I thought she must have been very lonely, so that I should support her. But all she says was something like, it's your duty to support husband, etc. And knowing that I recently started working, she got so angry. Kept calling me when I'm in work. Did you talk about that with William properly? You can't even reply my phone call. I'm sorry. It's difficult for us to live with you now. I'm not asking for your opinion. William won't object to it. No, William says it's still too difficult. Besides, we're having some financial issues. How can it be financial issues? William works for a big company. They pay him well, so you two are rich, right? I'm always at a loss for words when she says things like that. William has asked me not to tell my mother-in-law about the truth very insistently, so I can't tell her the truth. And then my mother-in-law says that I'm selfish to go working. And she thinks I'm lying about how hard it is to make ends meet. Well, I guess. My mother-in-law's phone calls are so annoying, not only when I'm at work, but also when I'm home at night. Most of the time, a wife's first priority should be to support her husband, and the way taking care of your husband means you should take care of his mother as well. You haven't come to see me at all lately. What's the matter with you? I work a full-time job and I'm exhausted. And William's doing part-time job on weekends. That's why our holidays don't match. I'm sorry. We're both so busy. It's hard to fit it into our schedules. I don't care about your schedule. Besides, William's off on weekends. You can come on weekends, right? My mother-in-law must be very frustrated and upset for a while and kept on talking like that. I thought it was time for me to give up. I tried to tell her the truth about William. No, William works on weekend. What do you mean? As a matter of fact, when I was about to tell the truth, William, who was lying on the sofa watching TV, ran up to me and took my phone. Mom, I'm sorry that I haven't been able to visit you lately. I'm working on a big project right now, and I've been working on weekends as well. I'll come visit you when I get settled. With that, he hung up the phone and headed back to me. What were you doing? What were you doing? Were you trying to tell my mom? That's just tell the truth. If you keep this up, she keeps saying things to me because she knows nothing. I'm sorry to hear that, but don't tell my mom that. That's enough. Just give up your pride and tell her the truth. Shut up. I'm the one make you survive, so thank me instead of talking back to me. Saying this, he went back to his room. I'm literally on the edge of collapse. I can't solve the financial problem. My husband and his mother have been pushing me so hard to the corner. It's enough. William says his day job is too much work and he doesn't do housework. But his job wasn't full-time. He works on weekends and once a week during the week. He is at the meridian of life. I'm sure he is capable to do something to increase the income, or at least learn to do some housework and take the lead on the chores. How come you do nothing at all at home, but ask me to do all the chores and other work? I'm enough to all his complaints and doing nothing, so I decided to leave home for a while. I decided to go back to my parents' place for a week to show William how hard the housework is. I had told my parents the detail of the current situation of us, and they told me that I should just get a divorce as soon as possible. But we were in love and then got married, and we had been married for 5 years. I didn't want to go through with the divorce so easily. If I was going to get a divorce, I was going to do everything I could to make this better. And if that didn't work, I would divorce him. When I went back to my parents' place, I got a phone call from William. When are you coming home? Where's my meal? I won't be home for a while, so you have to do all the housework while I'm gone. Don't be silly, just come home and do the chores. No, I won't. You know how hard it is to do the housework. You can clean the house, you do the laundry, you cook, you do everything yourself. It's important for you to understand how hard it is for me to do all the housework while I'm working. I said that and hung up. William kept calling, but I ignored them at all. Life at home was very comfortable for the first time in a long time. I could share the housework with my father and mother. My mother would say, "You must be tired," and serve us many home-cooked meals. I really appreciate that fact that I didn't have to do anything and the food came out automatically. And I spent about a week at my parents' house. Thought I already wanted to spend a little longer. But my parents' house is quite far from my office. It takes me an hour and a half each way to commute there, so it's not easy. I thought it was about time William understood how hard housework is. Then, I finally came back to our home. I was worried that the house might be a dump, but then I realized the house was cleaner than I had expected. But here I felt something strange. No way, I thought. I went to see William's room. Clothes and suitcases in the closet were gone. I thought to myself, he must have gone to his mother, so I called him. "What are you calling me now?" "Where are you?" "I'm at my parents' house." "You didn't go to your parents' house right after I left, did you?" "That's right." "What are you doing? That doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't have left in the first place. I'm already upset. I'm not going back to that house." "What do you mean?" "I'm going to live with my mom. I'm going back to my parents' house." "Oh, and I'm not just going back. We're moving into a new apartment." "I have no idea what you're talking about." I was at a loss for words when the voice on the phone changed. "Hey, Grace. Do you have any idea what you've done? What kind of nerve do you have to abandon your duty as a wife and cause trouble for William? You're such a terrible wife. I'm gonna teach you a lesson." "Well, Mother, I have my reason for leaving." "It doesn't matter. We're going to move into a new nice apartment. If you want to come living with us, I'll tell you where the new place is." I'm sure my mother-in-law still doesn't know anything. Well, it's a good chance for me that she knows nothing. No. Thank you." "What?" I said no right away, so my mother-in-law was completely shocked. "I'm saying that I'm not going." "Oh, are you serious? If William is going to live with me, unless you come over here, you have to be alone." "You can't live alone, can you? You've been relying on him." "Don't worry, I earn enough to live on my own. If we don't live together, there's no need for us to be a couple. So I'm divorcing him." "What?" It might because I said the word divorce. I heard my mother-in-law and husband's surprised voice over the phone. "Wait a minute, Grace. There's no need to mention divorce. I can't stay married to you anymore. I need to get rid of a horrible husband like you as soon as possible." When I gave him such a comment, my mother-in-law snapped. "Hey, how dare you talk to William like that? We don't want a life like you either. So, yeah, okay, William, just get a divorce." "No." "I'll get divorce papers ready." "What a bitch. I'll make you feel regret about this. And it's too late for apology." "Same to you." When I said that, the phone were disconnected. My mother-in-law and her son will probably be here with the divorce papers. Thank God things are going the way I want them to. I'm thankful that William was not willing to improve at all and went back to his mother's place. That makes me easy to make up my mind. He is not going to change himself. Then there's no need for us to stay together. I decided to pack my bags waiting my mother-in-law's arrived. A few hours later, my mother-in-law came along. "Oh, William isn't here?" "He doesn't have to show up. Here you go. I already had him fill out his own section. You filled out yours as soon as possible. She handed me the divorce papers saying that. Somehow I think the words in William's column are written in trembling letters. My William is such a wonderful man. Even though with a horrible wife like you, he's unreluctant to get a divorce. I'll never forgive you for causing trouble for such a wonderful person. I hope you live a poor life and regret it. While I was filling out with my part of the form, my mother-in-law didn't give up yelling at me. William's pride got in the way until the end. He couldn't tell his mother the truth. What a pathetic man he is. What happened to your house? I sold it. So if you want to come over, there's no place for you. No, I won't. How much did you get for it? It was old, so it must have been cheap. That's none of your business. But I'm telling you because I'm a good person. It was about $50,000. Not much, but it's enough for retirement life. William will pay for our new apartment. Whoa, so surprised you got approved. What are you talking about? William is a high-class person. It's a matter of course. So you put the money in William's account? How did you know that? That's not important. Stop asking this and that. Just a divorced woman. So obvious that you're still into him. But that's too late. Don't worry. I've already agreed to the divorce. I'll file the divorce papers. When I said that, my mother-in-law sniffed and laughed. I was overjoyed to be free from her and her son. I packed up the rest of my belongings and moved them to my parents' house. And I filed and signed a contract for a single person's apartment when I would leave. By the way, I successfully provoked my mother-in-law, so I was able to get rid of the property. There's no way to give you William's property. Get used to it. I still remember how the pale face of William when we were discussing about the division of property, which is funny to me even now. Then one day, about 2 years later, I received a call from an unknown number. Who could it be in the morning before work? I thought it might be the work-related call. I picked up the phone and, to my surprise, it was my ex-mother-in-law. Oh my good grace, please help me. Mother, you can't keep calling me like this. We're strangers now. Don't say that. I'm in trouble. You can't pay the rent and the savings are running low? How do you know that? He didn't tell you about the financial problem until you guys got broke, did he? Oh, you knew it. I knew it and tried to tell you many times, but every time I tried, William told me not to. I didn't realize that. I'm so sorry, Grace. I didn't note anything. I apologize, but please come back. I don't want to. He wouldn't change who he was, no matter how much I tried, and even you were always bullied me. I don't want to spend time with someone like you ever again. Please don't say that. I don't have anything to eat anymore. I'm really dying. According to my ex-mother-in-law, William has been trying to look good, and since then, he didn't tell her about the financial problem. He paid his rent out of the $50,000 that his mother had sold the family home for, and his mother would get suspicious if he didn't show his extravagance every once in a while. So he spent a lot of money on expensive groceries and fancy meals because he was living like that. He lost his $50,000 in no time, and now he's penniless. He got what he deserved, didn't he? Why don't you put away your pride and live modestly in a cheap apartment? No, it wasn't supposed to be like this. I was supposed to live a comfortable life with my elite son. My ex-mother-in-law cried at that. I quietly hung up the phone and blocked all the incoming calls. I also put a restraining order against her just in case I had to call the police. All they think about is leaning on someone else. Parents or children are so alike. I'm going to take a lesson from them. I'm trying to live independently. With that in mind, I got myself back on track, decided to focus on my own life. Keeping the truth out of sight. The husband who continues to live a life not balanced of his status, and the mother-in-law who blames only on her daughter-in-law without questioning her son. So happy that Grace could cut off such a terrible mother and son. I'm sure that she will be able to lead an independent life. I hope she can meet a wonderful man in the future. Let's wish her a happy life from now on. Thank you for watching till the end. Please subscribe to our channel if you like. See you in the next video.